This isn't gonna end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
In a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
90 minutes, honey. That's all it took for Justin Baldoni to snatch his first big courtroom win from under Blake Lively's nose, leaving her legal squad in a full-on meltdown. This ain't the last word, but it's a major clue on how this whole drama's gonna play out, and let me tell you, it ain't looking good for Blake. If you've been sleeping on this, let me break it down real quick. Blake hit Justin with a whole $250 million lawsuit, saying he did some dirty deeds. But Justin? He ain't playing that. He clapped back with a whole $400 million countersuit, calling Blake out for extortion and straight up dragging his name through the mud. Now, after months of back and forth shade, they finally in court, ready to rumble in one of Hollywood's wildest legal throwdowns. From Jump Street, Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, came in hot, making it clear he ain't here to play nice. His aggressive moves had Blake's crew shaken in their designer boots, and honestly, who could blame? This the same dude who swore he'd sue Blake into next week, and from how he was moving in court, he meant every word. Blake's lawyers were so shook, they tried to gag him with a whole order, hoping to silence him from dropping any more bombshells. But the judge? He wasn't having none of that noise. With a quick flick of the wrist, he shut down their gag order dreams, pointing out that Blake's own crew been running their mouths in the streets. I mean, the media. Muzzling Friedman while letting Blake's team keep talking slick would have been straight up foul, and that judge wasn't about to play favorites. That ruling? That was Justin's first W of the day, but girl, things were about to get messier than a spilled weave. Frustrated, Blake's lawyers kept gripping about how Friedman's constant interviews and media stunts were making it impossible for them to even get a word in edgewise. Every time they tried to come back with a clap back, he was dropping another bomb, leaving them chasing their tails. But again, the judge wasn't buying their sob story. He dismissed their complaints like a bad wig, reaffirming that Friedman had every right to spill the tea publicly. Another knockout punch for Blake. But the real drama popped off when her legal team realized Justin Baldoni wasn't just fighting this in the courtroom. He was talking it to the streets, I mean, the internet. Blake's lawyers were fuming when they found out Justin had dropped a whole website dedicated to the case where he was planning to dump all the receipts, including video, legal paperwork, and messages to back up his claims. They was hollering about how this whole thing was some low-down, dirty trick, trying to mess with folks' minds before the trial even got started. But Friedman? He wasn't having none of that mess. He clapped back, reminding them that Miss Blake was the one running her mouth to the press first. She went straight to the New York Times, gave Justin a measly 12 hours to respond, for they dropped that bombshell, tearing his name to shreds. He barely had time to say, hold up, before that article was out, doing the most damage. If she gets to run to the papers and spin her story, why can't Justin do the same? That truth bomb hit hard, and the judge was like, you right. Another win for Justin. But then, they tried to pull a fast one. In a desperate move, Blake's lawyers tried to get her to pick who'd be asking her questions during her deposition, thinking they could keep Friedman away. But the judge ain't playing those games. He shut that down quick, saying she gotta answer to whoever the court sends, like it or not. By the end of that hearing, it was clear Justin's squad was moving. Every time Blake's team tried to put Friedman in his place, they just gave him more fuel to burn. They played themselves, dear. Let me tell you, the drama was thick. This ain't over, but if this first round was anything to go by, Blake's in for a rough ride. That judge's ruling sent them lawyers into a full-blown panic. Girl, you could see the sweat. They knew Friedman was coming for her neck, and they couldn't do a thing about it. And rightfully so, cause Brian Friedman, he ain't playing. He gonna grill her, and she ain't gonna be able to wiggle out of nothing. Now, for those who ain't hip, a deposition is where you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but, so help you God. Every word out of Blake's mouth can be used in court. No PR spin, no lawyer talk, just straight up questions under oath. And the way they're running, scared? It's clear she ain't ready, not even a little bit. Now, here's the real tea. If Blake's so sure she's telling the truth, why is she so desperate to dodge this deposition? If she's got nothing to hide, wouldn't she be ready to spill it all? Instead, she and her crew are throwing out every excuse in the book, trying to keep Friedman away. Something ain't adding up. Okay, dear, listen up. They knew the moment she stepped in that courtroom, the games were over. No more slick talk, no more sneaky leaks, no more smoke and mirrors, just straight up, cold-blooded truth. But that judge? He wasn't having it. He shut down their request like a busted pipe, another major L for Blake's crew. By the time that hearing was done, it was clear as day. Justin and his squad? They ate every single argument. One ruling after another went their way, while Blake's lawyers were getting served defeat after defeat. And just when they thought the drama couldn't get any hotter, the judge dropped the bomb. Both lawsuits, Blake's $250 million mess and Justin's $400 million clapback, are getting mashed into one big pot of tea. That means no long, drawn-out mess. This is gonna be one explosive, straight-up showdown in that courtroom. And the trial? Set for March 2026, unless they settle before then. But let's keep it real. Blake is in deep water if this hits the courtroom. She's already lost a grip of battles before the real fight even started. If this keeps up, she's gonna be sitting there while Justin lays out every piece of evidence, raw and uncut. And don't get it twisted, this ain't just about the law. It's about the streets. And right now, her once perfect image is cracking like a cheap phone screen. Folks are split. Some still ride for her, but others? They're side-eyeing her big time, wondering what's really going on now. Listen to this. While Blake's camp is busy fumbling the bag, Justin's over there stacking receipts like he's running a cash register. He's got every piece of evidence, every shred of proof, locked and loaded, ready to flip the script. And the fact that he dropped a whole website dedicated to this mess? That's a power move. He ain't just fighting in that courtroom, he's putting his whole story out there for the world to see. It's a straight-up chess move, dear. Blake used the media to drag him through the mud, and now he's using the internet to clap back. At this point, Blake needs to sit her behind down and ask herself some real questions. Is this battle worth the smoke? Or should she just apologize, eat her humble pie, and cut her losses before she burns the whole house down? Because if she loses, it ain't just her name that's gonna be dirt. She'll be on the hook for a cool $400 million. And let's not forget about Ryan Reynolds. Where does he fit in this whole saga? If Blake takes an L, they both gonna feel that heat, and not just in the gossip columns. That $400 million? That's more than their combined bank accounts. If this case doesn't go her way, it could financially bury them both. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Blake to swallow that pride, find a way to make peace, and stop before she gets completely cooked in that courtroom. Because right now, it's looking more and more like Justin Baldoni is about to walk away with the W, both in the courtroom and in the streets. If Blake loses this case, girl, it ain't just a oops, my bad moment. We talkin' cataclysmic, straight up. A $400 million payout? Lord, that ain't just a lil pocket change. That's a career ender, a whole life rearranger type of blow. Even with Ryan's deep pockets, this gon' leave a mark, a scar so deep, you'll see it from space. Hollywood, they love a good scandal, but they ain't playin' when it comes to money. This kinda loss? They gon' treat her like she got the plague. But it ain't just about the cash, boo. She losing her whole rep, her juice, everything. She gone be a has-been, period. Hollywood run on drama, but they respect power. And right now, Justin got the upper hand, dear. He got the receipts, he winning in court, he controllin' the story. Blake, she just runnin' around like a chicken with her head cut off. Keep this up, and she gon' be the poster child for, don't get too big for your britches. And this ain't just about her, either. In Hollywood, your name is your everything. Once it's tarnished, it's over. Studios, they gon' ghost her. Brands, they gon' be runnin' for the hills. Straight up, she's gon' be iced out, period. Directors and producers, even the ones who used to be all up in her Kool-Aid, they gon' be thinking twice about working with her. They ain't trying to catch no drama, you heard? And this ain't no lil PR mess she can just laugh off on some talk show in a few years. If she gettin' hit with defamation and extortion, that ain't just a oops, that's a permanent stain. Meanwhile, Justin, he climbin' up that ladder, baby. Every win, he showin' he ain't playin'. He talking over, and Hollywood loves a come up. He breaking down her story, piece by piece, making himself look like the victim. With every win in court, it's harder for Blake to flip the script. And this ain't even the main event. We got more courtroom drama, more plot twists, and probably more public freakouts comin'. The stakes? Sky high. The longer this drag out, the worse it look for Blake. If she don't get her act together, or at least try to clean up this mess, this gon' be one of the biggest Hollywood faceplants we ever seen. She gon' be a footnote in the How Not to Hollywood handbook, period. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, let's talk about it. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button. And if you're new to the fam, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in.